Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. I hope you all have an amazing day. We're starting off with the black pieces against a 1962 from the United Kingdom. A Trompowski is very, very interesting for this opening. I don't really know what to do against a Trompowski, to be honest. I think H6 is like a move. I actually think you're meant to take inwards. I think you can take outwards. Then you're playing, like, changing the plan. I think the computer move is to take inwards with, like, an E5. Yeah. Maybe. Let's do that. I think that is the move. Let's play a D5 as well. They go C4. We can think about an E5 here. Almost playing like an Albin counter gambit sort of style is interesting. Looking for the check. The problem is we do go down a pawn after D5, E5 though. With takes, knight takes. You can throw in the check, knight blocks. No, but then you push, though. That is interesting. And if there takes, knight takes, check, knight blocks there, then you do something else. I guess. We can also consider like a bishop g4. I don't think would particularly go amiss. There is a check there we have to be mindful of. I don't think that particularly matters too much. Let's take with the queen. I think we have to take with the queen. And then we'll consider a queen a5. I think is a reasonable call. We're looking for the break. We can potentially castle queenside. Although with the open c-file, it might be considered a bit risky. Then again, I don't really want to castle kingside either. So we have that. We have that predicament. We could go for an e5 here. I don't see anything particularly wrong with that. Maybe we want to develop a bit faster. We also need to be a bit wary of the bishop coming in. So maybe the move is to go knight d7. Knight d7 allows both c5 and e5. I think we have to take this, right? If we take this, their queen's getting very, very active all of a sudden, though. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. Let's drop back. I don't think they... Ooh, they are going for it, though. They are going for the pushes. They can't really push this any further. We're still potentially looking for an e5 supported by the queen and the knight. Long castle's still potentially on the table as well. This is an interesting game, for sure. I mean, give me a new position any day, you know. I don't think I've properly seen this one. I usually take outwards. And like go for an e5 push with the bishop coming along here. Bishop there. We can think still about e5 with the threat of e4. With this knight being pinned by the queen. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Takes, knight takes. Or pawn takes that way. Creates almost like a backwards f-pawn, not really. I don't think it's a bad move. I think we need to break in the center at some point as well. Knight there is an interesting... Oh, they can't do that because of the pin. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for e4, e5 then. I think that's our only counterplay. We're still threatening like a knight, bishop b4 potentially at some point. Although again, it's opening up lines with like a rook b1 after pawn takes. Say they would move the queen first to cover the The fork. Not that it's a fork either, because the king moves and the queen covers the rook. So, yeah. Knight moves over is an interesting one. Is an interesting one for sure. So they're threatening to take and then win the pawn. So we have to sort of do something about that. We could push. We could take with queen takes. We could drop back. We could go rook g8. Rook g8 I don't mind. Fixes our pawn structure, which is sort of the whole point of the Trompowsky, is that you've got this weird pawn structure. I'm just a bit concerned, are there any tricks with the queen coming in, but the pawn covers that quite well. And we will have to long castle there as well. I don't think rook g8 is a bad idea. It's a wild one. It's not something I think is principled, really. But I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't. And if we now take, we are potentially threatening like a... Ooh, that's a good move. Can we just take the bishop there? Take the bishop there, knight there. He's still pinned. So you're threatening that, I guess. But also, like, not really. Because rook b8. Right? We just take the free bishop. We're not castling, folks. That's for sure. We are not castling. Long castles. Interesting concept. Interesting concept. Probably just like a bishop e4 then. Bishop e4, knight takes. It's no longer pinned. Wow. I mean, we have to take the bishop, surely. There's no world we don't take this bishop. We have an e4 as an idea, potentially. Bishop takes long castles. Ooh. We also have a queen a6 is a potential move. Knight there, long castles, queen takes. Wow, this is so interesting. Maybe we just long castle. No, because then they've got that problem. Queen takes, also potentially a threat. Also potentially a threat. Wow. Queen takes, we have rook g7, right? Yeah. We've got to take the bishop. We can't not take the bishop. We can't not. And if they beat us by that, then I say fair enough, to be honest. Sometimes you've just got to do it. You can't not do it. I think our king's reasonably safe. I would like it to be safer for sure. Do they find long castles, though, rather than being greedy? Do they find long castles? It's a tough one to spot, I think. It's a tough one to spot, but tactically, I think it's better. They go king d2? What? Oh, knight c5 is begging to be played, right? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. We can, worst case, go bishop a7. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know, to be honest. Feels wrong. I don't know where else we're going with that bishop, though. Bishop a7 it is, I guess. It's defensive. I guess. You could claim that as defensive. Whether it's good or not is another question, but we are thoroughly up a piece. We're straight up a piece. Now long castles comes with devious threats. With the rook on d8, hitting the king straight away, it looks good. We've got to be very careful as well, though. Like, our king's still weak. We're running low on time, and we're a bit underdeveloped. Like, this bishop hasn't moved, this rook hasn't moved. Our queen's awkward, but also doing a relatively good job at stopping their attacks. No way that works. Long castles is an instant move, right? Long castles, you can't not long castle here. Long castles. King C. Knight there. Then you've got check threats. Up. You've got check threats again. I mean, you've got a long castle every day of the week, right? Every day of the week. You ignore this. With the immediate threat of winning the queen. With the discovered check. You go there. I mean, you could take this for starters, right? Cover this pawn. That's probably the more accurate way to play it. Check. King back. Or do you go here? Queen there. Check. There. Ooh. Then bishop there. Takes. Yeah. I mean, this has... Oh. No, you go here, right? You go here. Cover the pawn. Cover the pawn. The bishop's coming up to here, probably. Trade off the knights. We still have check, by the way. Still have check. Happily trade that any day of the week. We can threaten this with the pin on the queen. They let us have it. Thank you. These threats I don't think work. There is no back rank. However much they try, there is no back rank. We'll throw in the check first. Might as well. We can try for some mate. Go there. They can't escape this side, so we probably have some sort of mate. Knight comes in there. Check. Mate. Bosh. Wow. That was a good game. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I really, really enjoyed that one. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to think about there. So much to think about. Let's have a look at our accuracy here. We have an 89.9 versus a 75.8. 2150 versus 2400. Apparently, we both made a blunder. Both made a blunder is interesting. Let's see. Let's see. So the Trompowski. A very strange opening. You're looking to trade up. You give up your bishop straight away. For a very slight pawn structure advantage. You know, you're not getting the fianchetto that knight f6 players like. You're not as easily able to contest the center with like an e4. Without the bishop being there, you know, you're not looking to short castle. It throws off the plan in compensation for the bishop pair. So they take, and apparently you do actually take outwards. Good to know. Good to know. We play d5. You gotta contest. You can't let them with this. You can't let them take the center. I don't think. Apparently f5 is the way to play it. And then you've got your bishop out, I guess, and you're stopping at an e4. Interesting. We went with d5 and played this. Apparently you can just take Fez, and then after e4 you develop the rook, apparently. What about an e3? You're knight d7 and you just let them do that, I guess. I guess the knight is no real threat. The queen looks scary coming in, though. I don't know. Oh, but the knight has to move away. You've always got e6 as a last resort as well, I guess. We take with the queen. Queen a5. Usual Scandinavian stuff. Apparently you go d6 instead. I'm not sure what that's quite doing. It seems like you're blocking in your bishop, maybe. I'm not sure. We develop the knight. Apparently you do trade off, which is what I was questioning. I was like, do we give the queen that freedom, you know? This looks so weird, giving them this. I don't know how computers work, to be honest. They are insane. They just know stuff works. Apparently you do trade off as well here. Again, I guess just killing white's play. We went with e5 instead, with the threat of e4. And then rook g8 was the problem. And the move is knight takes. Oh, and then you go queen there with the joint double attack. That makes more sense. Yeah, probably should have seen that. They didn't go for it though, and luckily we were able to take the free piece from that. Yeah, I mean it's just a free piece, to be honest, just a free piece. Bishop goes back to a7. It's tidy. You've got a long castle like the king. I don't know why they didn't long castle here. Long castling's a very cool response. Because my king's unsafe in the center. It takes a move to get long castled, and I'm still arguably unsafe when I'm long castled as well. You've got threats on the pawn, you've got threats on the bishop, and then you've got threats potentially on the knight as well. This pawn's still up for grabs. It's still up for grabs. You're getting kicked about with rook b8, but it's there. The idea's there. Yeah, but they went king d2 as well, staying in the center, allowing me to long castle. Apparently you do go c5, though it's not much different. Bishop b4, trade off the knights. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Bishop b5 is okay. Apparently the move is c4. Okay. Where's the queen going? Queen b4. You just drop it back. And then again look for this, I guess. We went for the tricky tricks. They fell for it. They let us pin. This doesn't work out. There might be potential back ranks, but right now it just doesn't work out. Take the queen, and then yeah, this is not nice. Apparently the move is king b1. I don't know. It still doesn't particularly look nice, to be honest. Then again, you know, I don't particularly have much going for me. Don't particularly have much going for me. But, you know, I'm just going to trade off, get a bit of luft with my king, bit safer, and then win with the queen for the rook, you know. Worst case, push a pawn. And then this just mates, basically. That's all it is. That's all it is. Interesting. I definitely need to look at the Trompowsky a bit more. Understand the pawn structure differences. After all, that's basically all the opening is a pawn structure imbalance. But yeah, I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.